3 weeks later, Commander Zrak Voss stood in front of the Galactic Mercenary Guild Council. His crystal body was dim and cracked. His voice shook when he spoke. Behind him, a holographic display showed the events at Meridian Station. The humans defeated us completely, he reported to the council members. 6 soldiers captured 50 mercenaries using our own technology against us. They turned our weapons into scrap metal. They made our computers obey them instead of us. They did all of this while we thought they were helpless prisoners. The council members looked at each other in disbelief. Counselor Vex, a spider-like being with 8 eyes, spoke first. You are telling us that primitive humans from a single world defeated the best mercenary unit in the galaxy? They are not primitive, Zrak Voss replied. That was our mistake. They let us think they were primitive. They studied us for months before we even met them. They learned our language, our technology, our weaknesses. They planned everything. The holographic display showed Morrison and his team in action. Council members watched in growing horror as humans turned simple tools into deadly weapons. They saw Lisa Park control alien power systems like she had built them herself. They watched Tony Rivera destroy patrol craft with equipment meant for repairs. They saw Katie Bell reprogram medical devices to become instruments of war. How is this possible? Asked Counselor Drac, whose rocky skin was turning pale gray with fear. They think differently than we do, Thresh explained. He was standing beside his commander, his scales still yellow with remembered terror. We build technology to solve problems. Humans see technology as tools that can be used for anything. They can turn a medical scanner into a weapon. They can turn a repair tool into a sniper rifle. They can turn a power grid into a trap. The display showed Sam Cooper working on his tablet. The alien computers surrendered to him like they wanted to be hacked. The council watched their most advanced security systems fall to a human who was typing with 2 fingers. Our computer experts studied his methods, Zrak Voss continued. He did not use advanced alien programs. He used basic human logic that our systems could not defend against. Human minds work in ways our computers cannot predict. Counselor Vex leaned forward on her 8 legs. What did they want from you? Money? Territory? Technology? Information, Zrak Voss replied. They wanted to know who sent us and why. They discovered our real mission in minutes. They found the Expansion Council's invasion plans. They learned everything about our military, capabilities. And you told them? Counselor Drac asked. We had no choice. They showed us recordings of human wars. Hundreds of years of humans fighting each other with weapons that got more deadly every year. They have turned their entire planet into a training ground for warfare. Every human learns to fight from childhood. The display changed to show images from Earth's history. Council members watched humans fight with swords, guns, bombs, and weapons the aliens had never imagined. They saw cities destroyed and rebuilt. They saw armies of millions fighting across continents. They have been at war for their entire history, Thresh added. Not just small conflicts, total wars where entire civilizations fought for survival. They have spent thousands of years learning to kill each other in creative ways. But they live on only one planet, Counselor Vex protested. How can they be dangerous to the galaxy? Zrak Voss showed them another recording. This one was from the human captain, Morrison, speaking directly to the Guild Council. You think we are weak because we have not spread to other worlds, Morrison said in the recording. You are wrong. We stayed on Earth because Earth taught us everything we needed to know about fighting. Every environment on our planet tried to kill us. Every animal was either food or a predator. Every natural disaster made us stronger. We did not need to conquer other worlds. We conquered the most dangerous world in the galaxy first. The council chamber fell silent. Every member was thinking the same thing. If humans were this dangerous while confined to one world, what would they be like if they started expanding into space? Morrison's recording continued. The Expansion Council wants to test human defenses. They have learned what they wanted to. No. Humans do not have strong defenses. We have something better. We have humans. What happened to the invasion plans? Counselor Drac asked. Cancelled, Zrak Voss replied. The Expansion Council studied our reports. They decided that conquering Earth would cost more than it was worth. Humans do not just fight back. They learn from every attack. They get stronger from every war. An invasion would just teach them how to fight in space. The display showed one final image. It was Morrison's team standing together on Meridian Station. They looked like ordinary people, but the council members now knew better. These were the most dangerous predators the galaxy had ever seen. "What are your recommendations?" Counselor Vex asked. "Stay away from human space," Zrak Voss said firmly. "Do not threaten them. Do not try to intimidate them. Do not think you can control them. Humans are not like other species. They do not surrender when faced with superior force. They adapt. They improvise. They win." 3 months later, the story had spread through every mercenary organization in the galaxy. The Guild posted new mission guidelines. Any contract involving humans required special approval. Hazard pay was increased by 500%. Most mercenary units simply refused to take jobs in human territory. Morrison and his team returned to Earth as heroes. But their real victory was not the capture of alien mercenaries. Their real victory was the message they sent to the galaxy. Earth's government released the recordings of the Meridian Station incident. They showed the galaxy exactly what happened when someone threatened humanity. The recordings became the most watched videos in galactic history. Lisa Park became the director of Earth's new defensive engineering program. She taught human engineers how to turn any technology into a weapon. Her motto was simple: if it exists, it can be used to fight. Tony Rivera founded the Earth Defense Sniper School. Alien military experts studied his methods but could never replicate them. Human accuracy came from years of hunting animals that could think and fight back. Katie Bell established the Interstellar Medical Corps. She proved that humans could learn alien biology faster than aliens could learn human medicine. Her students could heal or harm with equal skill. Rick Stone created the Psychological Warfare Division. He showed that understanding how enemies think was more important than having better weapons. Sam Cooper built Earth's computer defense network. No alien hacker ever successfully attacked human systems again. Cooper had taught human computers to think like human soldiers. But Morrison became something more than a hero. He became a legend. Alien children were told stories about the human captain who defeated an entire mercenary fleet with 5 soldiers and a plan. The Galactic Mercenary Guild still operates today, but they have one rule that every member must memorize: never accept contracts against human targets, never threaten human colonies, never underestimate human capabilities. The galaxy learned an important lesson at Meridian Station. Humans were not just another species to be catalogued and dismissed. They were the products of the most dangerous world known to science. They had spent millions of years learning to survive on a planet that tried to kill them every day. That knowledge made them the most dangerous species the galaxy had ever encountered, not because they were violent, but because they were very, very good at violence when it was necessary. The alien mercenaries had learned why humans called Earth a death world. It was not because the planet was dangerous. It was because the planet had created something far more dangerous than itself. It had created humanity. Commander Zrak Voss had lived for 300 years. He had fought in wars across 50 different worlds. He had seen civilizations rise and fall, but he had never experienced fear like this. His ship was being destroyed piece by piece. His patrol craft were gone. His communications were dead. His weapons would not fire. And somehow 6 humans had done all of this while pretending to be helpless scientists. "Sir," Thresh said, his scales now bright yellow with panic, "we have lost contact with all boarding teams. The station systems are attacking us. The humans are no longer in detention. That is impossible, Zrak replied, but his voice shook as he said it. They are primitives. They have basic technology. They cannot do this. Through the bridge windows, he could see Meridian Station floating in space. It looked peaceful. But Zrak knew that inside that station, something terrible was happening to his soldiers, on the station. Morrison walked slowly through the command center. The alien guards backed away from him. Their weapons were useless. Their armor felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Their communications were silent. They were no longer the hunters. They had become the prey. "You made a mistake," Morrison said calmly. "You thought we were weak because we live on one planet. You thought we needed your protection. You were wrong about everything." One of the guards tried to speak into his communicator. Only static came out. Morrison had been listening to alien communications for months. He knew their language, their protocols, and their fears. "Your people believe that technology makes you superior," Morrison continued. "But technology is just tools. The real weapon is the mind that uses those tools. Human minds work differently than yours." Rick Stone stood up and spoke to the guards in their own language. But he was not just speaking words. He was using their own psychology against them. He knew exactly what to say to make them afraid. "Your species evolved on peaceful worlds," Rick said in perfect alien speech. "You learned to cooperate and build things. Humans evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We learned to fight and survive. That is why you fear the dark and we hunt in it." Lisa Park's voice came through the communicator. "Jake, I have finished in engineering. The alien ship cannot move, cannot shoot, and cannot call for help. Their main power core is under my control. I can shut down their life support any time you want." "Tony here," came another voice. "All patrol craft eliminated. I have the main ship targeted. Their weapon systems are offline, but I can still put holes in their hull if they try anything stupid." Katie Bell reported next. "Medical bay secure. I have all their biological data. I know exactly how their bodies work and how to shut them down without killing them. I also have samples of their technology." Sam Cooper was the last to report. "I control every computer system they have. Their ship, their personal equipment, even their door locks. They cannot make a phone call without my permission." The alien guards looked at each other in growing horror. They had expected to face primitive humans with basic weapons. Instead, they were trapped by enemies who had turned their own advanced technology against them. Morrison walked to the command center's main screen. He touched a few controls and the screen lit up. It showed the alien ship floating helplessly in space. Lights were flashing on and off. Small explosions were happening along its hull where Tony had hit critical systems. "This is what happens," Morrison said to the terrified guards, "when you underestimate humans." On the alien ship, Commander Zrak was trying to understand how his perfect mission had become a disaster. His tactical officers were shouting reports that made no sense. "Sir, our computer core is infected with unknown programs," one officer reported. "All systems are responding to commands from the human station." "The humans are using our own technology better than we are," another officer said. "They have gained access to classified databases, weapon protocols, and navigation systems." "That is impossible," Zrak said again, but he was starting to realize that humans specialized in doing impossible things. Thresh was studying sensor readings with growing fear. "Sir, the humans are not using advanced technology to defeat us. They are using our own technology. They turned our tools into weapons against us." "How?" Zrak demanded. "They think differently than we do," Thresh replied. "Our technology was designed by species who think like us. But humans think like—" He paused, trying to find the right words. "Like predators." Morrison's voice suddenly came through the ship's communication system. Somehow, the humans had taken control of their internal communications, too. Commander Zrak Voss, Morrison said. His voice was calm, but everyone could hear the threat in it. This is Captain Morrison of Earth Special Operations. You came here thinking you would intimidate primitive humans. Instead, you have learned why humans control their entire planet. What do you want? Zrak Voss asked. Information, Morrison replied. You are not here to protect us from pirates. You are here to see if Earth is worth conquering. We want to know who sent you and what they are planning. We will never tell you anything, Zrak Voss said. You will, Morrison replied calmly. Not because we will torture you, not because we will threaten you. You will tell us because you are intelligent enough to understand your situation. The main screen in the alien bridge lit up. It showed images from all over the station. Lisa Park was standing in engineering, surrounded by alien technology that she had somehow learned to control in just a few hours. Tony Rivera was on the observation deck with weapons he had built from repair tools. Katie Bell was in the medical bay, reading alien biological data like she had studied it for years. 6 humans, Morrison continued. 6 humans defeated 50 alien mercenaries without killing anyone. We did it using your own equipment against you. We did it while you thought we were helpless prisoners. Now imagine what we could do if we were really trying. Sam Cooper had been busy while Morrison was talking. He had accessed the alien ship's database and found exactly what they were looking for. The mercenaries were working for a group called the Expansion Council. The Council wanted to test human defenses before planning a real invasion. "We've found your mission files," Morrison announced. "We know about the Expansion Council. We know they sent you to test us. We know they are planning to invade Earth if we seem weak enough." Zrak Voss felt his hopes crumble. The humans had not just defeated his soldiers. They had taken everything: his ship, his weapons, his secrets, and his mission. "You have a choice," Morrison said. "You can cooperate with us and live, or you can refuse and discover what humans do to enemies who threaten their homeworld." "What kind of choice is that?" Zrak Voss asked. "The same choice you offered us," Morrison replied. "Except we are better at this than you are." Katie Bell's voice came through the communicator. "Jake, I have finished analyzing their biology. These aliens have never evolved natural weapons. No claws, no fangs, no poison. They are completely dependent on technology for fighting." "That explains a lot," Morrison said. "They cannot imagine fighting without their gadgets because they never had to. Humans spent millions of years learning to kill things with rocks and sticks. We are much better at improvising." Rick Stone had been analyzing alien communication patterns throughout the ship. "Their entire crew is terrified," he reported. "They keep asking each other how primitive humans could defeat advanced aliens. Their morale is completely broken." Morrison looked at the alien guards in the command center. They were no longer standing proud and tall. They were huddled together like scared children. "Gentlemen," Morrison said, "welcome to the reality of fighting humans. We do not just win battles. We learn from them, and we make sure our enemies never want to fight us again." The first sign of trouble came from the engineering section. The lights went out. Not just some lights. All the lights. The entire section went dark in less than 3 seconds. Lisa Park had spent hours studying the power systems while pretending to be scared. She knew exactly which cable to cut to kill the lights without triggering the emergency backup. Her 3 guards suddenly could not see anything, but Lisa had grown up fighting in dark tunnels under Detroit. Darkness was her friend. "What happened?" one guard shouted in the alien language. "Emergency lighting should have activated," another said. His voice was getting scared. Lisa moved without making a sound. She had already memorized where each guard was standing. The first guard was by the door. The second was near the main console. The third was by the emergency controls. All 3 were now blind and confused. The first guard went down quietly. Lisa used a piece of broken pipe to hit him exactly where. His neck met his skull. She had learned that spot from studying their anatomy files. The guard dropped without making a sound. "Cars, where are you?" the second guard called out. Lisa was already moving. She had found the emergency toolkit while the guards were distracted. Human tools were designed simple and strong. The heavy wrench in her hand was perfect for the job. The second guard fell just as quietly as the first. The third guard was starting to panic. He fired his weapon into the darkness. The energy blast lit up the room for half a second. It was long enough for Lisa to see exactly where he was standing. It was also long enough for her to see that his shot had damaged the plasma conduit above his head. "Bad choice," Lisa whispered. She threw the wrench at the damaged conduit. Sparks flew everywhere. The guard screamed as electricity danced across. His armor. His weapon fell from his hands. He collapsed to the floor, unconscious but alive. Lisa picked up his weapon and tested its weight. It was heavier than human guns, but the trigger worked the same way. She spoke into her communicator. "Engineering section secure. 3 guards down. I have alien weapons and full control of station power systems." At the same time, Tony Rivera was starting his own part of the plan. He had spent hours acting like a curious scientist while really counting enemy positions. The alien ship had 12 small patrol craft flying around it. Each craft followed the exact same route every time. The aliens were good at discipline, but bad at thinking creatively. Tony had found a maintenance closet with tools inside. One tool was a plasma cutter used for repairing hull damage. It was not designed as a weapon, but Tony had learned long ago that any tool could be a weapon if you understood physics. He modified the plasma cutter in ways the aliens had never imagined. He increased the power output and focused the beam. He turned a repair tool into a sniper rifle that could shoot through space. The first patrol craft exploded without warning. The pilot never knew what hit him. To the other aliens, it looked like an equipment failure. They had no idea they were being hunted. The second patrol craft lasted 30 seconds longer. Tony had to wait for it to reach the right position in its patrol route. When it did, another focused plasma beam cut through its engine. The craft spun out of control and crashed into the side of the main ship. 2 down, Tony reported quietly. 10 more targets identified. The main ship is starting to notice something is wrong. Inside the alien ship, alarms were starting to sound, but the aliens did not understand what was happening. Their sensors showed equipment failures, not enemy attacks. They had never fought an enemy who could turn their own tools into weapons. In the medical bay, Katie Bell was having her own conversation with alien technology. She had convinced her guards to let her examine their medical scanner. She told them she wanted to learn about advanced alien medicine. Really, she was learning how to kill them. "This is wonderful," Katie said as she adjusted the scanner settings. "Can you show me how it works on alien biology?" "Of course," one guard said proudly. "We are happy to educate primitive species." The guard stepped into the scanner beam. Katie had already changed the settings to maximum intensity. Instead of showing his internal organs, the scanner sent focused radiation directly into his brain. The guard made a confused noise and fell over. He was not dead, but he would not wake up for hours. The second guard realized something was wrong. He reached for his weapon. Katie was faster. She had found a surgical laser in the medical supplies. One quick flash, and the guard's weapon melted in his hands. Another flash, and he joined his friend on the floor. "Medical bay secure," Katie reported. 2 guards down. I have access to all their biological data and their medical equipment." The third guard tried to run. Katie had prepared for this. She had reprogrammed the medical bay's life support system. The air suddenly became very thin. The guard could not breathe properly. He stumbled and fell. Katie used a medical injector to put him to sleep with his own medicine. Meanwhile, Sam Cooper was fighting a different kind of battle. His enemy was not alien guards, but alien computers. The good news was that alien computers were much easier to fight than alien soldiers. "Their programming is terrible," Sam muttered as his fingers flew across his tablet. "They have no security. protocols for creative attacks. They never imagined someone would try this. Sam had gained control of every system on both the station and the alien ship. He could control lights, air, gravity, weapons, and communications. The aliens had built their technology to be powerful. They had never thought about making it secure from enemies who thought differently than they did. "Jake," Sam whispered into his communicator. "I control everything electronic. Their ship, our station, even their personal equipment. What do you want me to do with it?" Morrison was still sitting in the command center, surrounded by 12 alien guards, but now he was no longer a prisoner. He was a hunter who had set a perfect trap. "Cut their communications first," Morrison replied quietly. "Make sure they cannot call for help. Then start making their lives difficult." Sam smiled as he typed new commands. Suddenly, the alien guards could not talk to each other. Their weapons stopped working. Their armor became too heavy to move easily. The lights started flashing in patterns that hurt their eyes. "What is happening?" one guard shouted, but his communicator was dead. None of them could hear him. Rick Stone had been studying alien psychology for hours. Now he put that knowledge to work. He started talking to the confused guards in their own language. But he was not just speaking their words. He was using their own fears against them. "Your ship is under attack," Rick said in perfect alien speech. "Your patrols are being destroyed one by one. Your equipment is failing. You are trapped with enemies who know your weaknesses." The guards looked at Rick in shock. They had thought he was just a scared human scientist. Now he was speaking their language better than they did. Worse, everything he said was true. "Impossible," one guard whispered. "Humans cannot speak our language." "Humans can do many things you never imagined," Morrison said, standing up slowly. "We learned your language months ago. We have been studying you since you first contacted Earth. We know everything about your species, your technology, and your weaknesses." The alien guards raised their weapons, but their weapons would not fire. Sam had disabled them all. Morrison smiled again. It was still not a nice smile. "Gentlemen," he said to the alien guards, "welcome to Earth." Commander Zrak Voss had been a mercenary for 300 years. In all that time, he had learned to read prey animals. Prey animals showed fear in their eyes. They moved too fast or too slow. They made mistakes when they were scared. But these humans were different. They moved like they were thinking about something else. Something important. "Sir," Thresh said quietly in their own language. "Something feels wrong about these humans." Zrak Voss looked around the command center. The 3 human males sat together under heavy guard. They should have been begging for mercy by now. Instead, they looked calm. Too calm. "They are just primitives," Zrak Voss replied. But his voice was not as sure as before. What the alien commander did not know was that Rick Stone understood every word they said. Rick had been studying alien languages for months. He was better at their language than most aliens were. He also knew that Zrak Voss was starting to doubt himself. Fear was a weapon, and Rick knew how to use it. In the engineering section, Lisa. Park was acting like a scared civilian. She sat in the corner with her hands shaking. Her 3 guards thought she was terrified. They were wrong. Lisa was counting. She was counting the number of steps between the plasma conduits and the emergency controls. She was counting how long it took the guards to complete their patrol pattern. She was counting the seconds until she would stop pretending to be helpless. The aliens had made a big mistake. They had locked her in a room full of things that could explode. Lisa had grown up in Detroit during the war years. She had learned to make bombs from car parts and kitchen supplies. This room was full of much better materials. "Please," she said to one of the guards, "can I have some water? I am very scared." The guard laughed. It sounded like rocks falling down a hill. "Scared little human. You should be scared. We are the best warriors in the galaxy." Lisa nodded and looked at the floor. Inside her head, she was smiling. The best warriors in the galaxy had just put her in a room where she could kill them all in 12 different ways. On the observation deck, Tony Rivera was also acting scared. He stood by the windows and looked out at space. He pointed at the alien ship and asked stupid questions about how it worked. His guards thought he was just a curious scientist. They did not know that Tony was the best sniper in human history. "Your ship is so big," Tony said. "How do you control something so huge?" "With skill you primitives could never understand," one guard replied. Tony nodded like he was impressed. Really, he was measuring distances. The alien ship was exactly 2,100 meters away. Tony had made kills at longer ranges. He was also noting the position of the ship's weapon systems. The aliens had not bothered to keep their defenses up. They thought humans were no threat at all. Through the window, Tony could see small alien ships flying patrol routes around the main vessel. Each small ship followed the same pattern. The aliens were disciplined, but not creative. Tony had fought enemies like this before. They were dangerous until you figured out their pattern. Then they became easy targets. In the medical bay, Katie Bell was playing the part of a frightened doctor. She asked many questions about alien medicine. She acted like she had never seen such advanced equipment. Her guards enjoyed showing off their superior technology. "This scanner can see inside any living body," one guard explained. "It can detect diseases you humans have never heard of." "Amazing," Katie said. "Can it work on alien bodies too?" "Of course, it works on all known life forms." Katie smiled sweetly. What the guard did not know was that Katie had already figured out how to reprogram the scanner. She could make it emit radiation that would cause severe pain in most oxygen-breathing species. She had also identified the locations of major organs in each of her guards. Katie was a doctor, but she was also a soldier. She knew exactly where to hurt someone to make them stop fighting. Back in the command center, Sam Cooper was still typing on his tablet. The aliens thought he was doing nervous, busy work. Really, Sam was breaking into their computer systems. Human computers were designed by people who expected other humans to try to hack them. Alien computers were designed by species that had never met humans before. "Their security is a joke," Sam thought to himself. "They use the same password for everything. They trust their own people completely. They have never fought an enemy that thinks like we do." Sam had already gained access to the alien ship's main computer. He was reading their personnel files, their mission orders, and their tactical manuals. What he found made him angry. The aliens were not here to protect humans from pirates. They were here to see if Earth was worth conquering. "Jake," Sam whispered so quietly that only Morrison could hear. "They are scouting us for invasion. This is not a protection mission." Morrison's face did not change. He had suspected as much. The aliens had been too eager to take control of the station. They asked too many questions about Earth's defenses. They were testing human reactions to alien authority. Rick Stone had been listening to alien communications from all over the station. He was learning more than just their language. He was learning how they thought. The aliens believed that superior technology always won battles. They had never fought enemies who could think faster than their computers could calculate. "They have protocols for everything," Rick whispered to Morrison, "except us. Their training never included humans." Morrison nodded slightly. The aliens had made the classic mistake of preparing to fight the last war instead of the next one. They knew how to defeat every known type of enemy. But humans were not a known type of enemy. Humans were something new. Hours passed. The aliens grew more confident. Their guards relaxed. They started talking among themselves instead of watching their prisoners. This was exactly what Morrison had been waiting for. "Lisa," Morrison spoke into his hidden communicator. "Are you ready?" "Give me 2 minutes," came the quiet reply. "Tony, I have 17 targets identified, waiting for your signal. Katie, medical bay is under control. Guards will be down when you need them. Sam, I own their computers. All of them. Rick, I know everything they are going to say before they say it. Morrison looked around the command center. 12 alien guards stood between him and freedom. Each guard was bigger and stronger than any human. Each carried weapons that could kill a human with one shot. Each wore armor that could stop bullets. None of that mattered. The aliens had made one fatal mistake. They thought humans were just another species to be cataloged and controlled. They did not understand that humans came from a world that had spent 4 billion years trying to kill them. Earth had failed. Everything that tried to kill humans had just made them better at surviving. The aliens were about to learn what happened when prey animals stopped running and started hunting back. Morrison smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of a predator who had been playing with his food long enough. "Begin," he said quietly into his communicator. The real fight was about to start. The silver ship moved through space like a silent predator hunting for prey. Inside the ship, Commander Zrak Voss studied the data on his screen. His body looked like living crystal, tall and sharp, with light glowing softly from within. He had been a mercenary for 300 years. In all that time, he had never met a species that could not be bought, scared, or killed. "Another easy job," he said to his second-in-command, Thresh. The reptilian alien's scales changed color when he was excited. Right now they were a dull green, showing he was bored. "The humans called for help," Thresh replied, looking at his own screen. "They say pirates are attacking their trade ships. They want to hire us for protection." Zrak Voss laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Humans. They live on only one world. How dangerous can they be?" The Galactic Mercenary Guild had files on thousands of species. The human file was very short. It said they were new to space travel. It said they had basic weapons. It said they were not a threat to anyone. What the file did not say was that humans had been lying about everything. Far below on Earth, Captain Jake Morrison sat in a meeting room deep underground. The walls were thick concrete. The room had no windows. Around the table sat the best soldiers Earth had ever trained. "The aliens think we are weak," Morrison said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were hard. "They think we need their help. They are wrong." Lisa Park checked her equipment one more time. She was small, but her hands were steady. She could make bombs. From almost anything. She had learned to fight in the ruins of Detroit, where every day was a battle to survive. "How many are coming?" asked Tony Rivera. He was the best shooter in the human military. He once killed an enemy from over 3 kilometers away. The shot was through a sandstorm, at night, with a crosswind. 6 ships, Morrison answered. "About 50 aliens total. They think they are coming to protect us from pirates. Really, they are coming to see if Earth is worth taking over." Katie Bell smiled. She was a doctor who had saved lives in 12 different wars. But she also knew exactly how to end a life quickly and quietly. "So we show them that Earth is not as helpless as they think." Rick Stone was reading alien messages on his computer. He spoke 17 human languages and was learning alien ones just as fast. "Their language patterns show they think of us as children. They use words that mean pet or primitive when they talk about humans," Sam Cooper typed on his tablet, without looking up. Lines of code flowed across the screen faster than most people could read. "I have been watching their communications for weeks. Their computer security is a joke. I can get into their systems anytime I want." Morrison stood up. "The plan is simple. We let them think they are in control. We act like scared civilians. We learn everything we can about them. Then we show them why humans rule Earth." The other soldiers nodded. They had all fought in wars most people never heard about. They had all survived things that should have killed them. They were the products of a world that had been trying to kill humans. For millions of years, Earth had failed. Everything that tried to kill humans had made them stronger instead. "Remember," Morrison said, We are not trying to start a war. We are preventing one. The galaxy needs to know that humans are not easy prey. 3 days later, Morrison and his team rode a small shuttle to Meridian Station. The station orbited Earth's moon. It was supposed to be a research facility for mining asteroids. Really? It was a trap. The alien ship arrived right on time. It was 10 times bigger than any human ship. Its weapons could destroy cities. Its shields could stop nuclear missiles. The aliens inside thought they were meeting with helpless primitives. Commander. Zrak Voss stepped onto Meridian Station with 12 of his best warriors. Each alien was armed with weapons that could cut through tank armor. They wore suits that could stop bullets. They moved like they owned the universe. Humans, Zrak Voss said through his translator. His voice sounded like music played on broken instruments. We are here to help you. But first, we must make sure you understand the cost of our protection. Morrison stepped forward. He wore simple clothes. He carried no visible weapons. He looked like a scientist who had never been in a fight. Thank you for coming, he said. We really need your help. The other humans with him looked scared. Lisa Park held her hands close to her body, like she was afraid. Tony Rivera kept looking, around nervously. Katie Bell stayed behind the others. Rick Stone stared at the floor. Sam Cooper held his tablet like it was the most important thing in the world. Thresh whispered to his commander in their own language. They look even weaker than we thought. This will be easy money. What Thresh did not know was that Rick Stone understood every word. Rick had been listening to alien communications for months. He already spoke their language better than some aliens did. We will need to inspect your facilities, Zrak Voss announced. For security reasons, of course. My soldiers will need to control access to all important areas. Of course, Morrison agreed. We want to cooperate completely. The aliens spread out through the station. They placed guards at every door. They took control of the communication systems. They acted like they owned the place. In their experience, showing strength always made primitives cooperate. But Morrison's team was not primitive. They were predators pretending to be prey. Lisa. Park let herself be locked in the engineering section with 3 alien guards. She spent the first hour acting scared. She spent the second hour memorizing every pipe, wire, and panel in the room. By the 3rd hour, she knew exactly how to turn the engineering section into a death trap. Tony Rivera was placed on the observation deck. The aliens thought it was a secure location. They were wrong. Through the windows, Rivera could see the alien ship floating in space. He measured the distance with his eyes. 2.1 kilometers. An easy shot. Katie Bell found herself in the medical bay. She pretended to be fascinated by the alien medical equipment. Really, she was learning how their bodies worked. She was. Also figuring out how to turn their own medical tools into weapons. Morrison, Rick Stone, and Sam Cooper were kept together in the command center. A dozen alien guards watched them carefully. The aliens thought they had everything under control. They were about to learn that controlling humans was much harder than they thought. Cooper kept typing on his tablet. The aliens thought he was nervous. Really, he was hacking into every computer, system on the station, and the alien ship. His fingers moved in patterns that looked like random tapping. Each tap was actually a carefully planned attack on alien security systems. Stone listened to everything the aliens said. He was learning, not just their words, but how they thought. He was finding the fears and weaknesses hidden in their speech patterns. Morrison watched and waited. He had fought in wars on 6 continents. He had survived situations that would have broken most people. He knew that the most dangerous moment in any fight was when your enemy thought they had already won. The aliens had made a mistake. They thought humans were weak because Earth was just one planet. They did not understand that being trapped on one world for so long had taught humans to be very good at killing each other. Everything else was just practice. The real lesson was about to begin.